Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for a pizza. Hello and welcome to another reviews video podcast. Enjoy looking at the superhero Build-A-Bears. This is the last time you'll see them. They will be up for sale on eBay by next week. So if you're interested in them at all, check out my eBay site and pick yourself up some Build-A-Bears. You have Batman with the Batmobile, or Bat Bear. You got Spider Bear. You got Hulk Bear. You got Super Bear. But I picked them up at a rummage for $1 a pop. Picked them up online and they sell anywhere from $15 on up, used. And the car is very rare. So, figure what the heck, takes up too much space anyways. They got themselves on video a few times. Now they're going to go for sale. And remember, if you're local, don't have to pay shipping. Got free pickup. I'll meet you somewhere. Alright. Let's get to our stack. We got a pretty decent sized stack. I think we can get through it all today. We're going to start out with Elvira in Monsterland. Issue 2 from Dynamite Comics. This is following the past few little short runs of Elvira, which we've talked about. And they're perfectly linking into each other. Story by David Avalon. Art by Huber Ball. Colors by Walter Pereira. Letters by Taylor Esposito. Vlad the Impaler is using a magic MacGuffin to rampage through the multiverse of movies. Time-space cops of Nova Zone Express enlisted Elvira, who they insist is some kind of superhero, to use a couple of equally magic tools to stop him. Last issue, he was Vlad napping all the movie Draculas. This time, it's another kind of monster he has his eyes on. And this issue takes us into a Frankenstein story, which I kind of figure would be the next one, following up from Dracula, thinking that they're going to stick with the Universal Monsters style theme. But our next issue will be taking us to a little bit newer style horror. Not quite that new, but this run is a lot of fun. They're doing a great job with it. Vlad has the remote control again. He's jumping through the multiverses, picking up all these different characters, learning stuff from the characters, and it's a very fun twist on how they're doing these things. My coffee's getting ice cold, so I'm sorry. That's why I'm sipping it up. You can drink with me if you keep up. But I only got a few sips left, so I want to definitely finish it off while it's still somewhat warm. More like room temperature warm. Next up, we got Night Terrors Batman. I was not going to do any of the Night Terrors issues, but my wife liked this cover when we were at a friend's comic shop. We stopped at Vendetta Comics in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I love that Blue Beetle symbol, but I have no interest in the new Blue Beetle character for some reason. It just doesn't seem as fun as the old one. So, in this issue, we look into all the different terrors, the evils that Batman has to deal with. The Night Terrors kind of take him into we get to see him go into his dream world, relive his past, go through all that stuff, and story that we've heard a million times, but then it takes a little twist with their younger characters and stuff. I believe that's Damian Wayne that is going through the dream world at that moment. I like this. I like the little free comic book day teaser we got with Batman Robin. I like how they take them deep into the dream world. Kind of gave you that feel that we were going to be dealing with uh, the Sandman, I believe it's called. Is it called Sandman? Or, no, Scarecrow. Scarecrow. He's in the DC universe. I get them all mixed up. But it's got an interesting twist to it. It leaves me hanging because all these are 2 issues long. And then all connecting into the whole realm of Night Terrors. So I will probably pick up the 2nd issue of this one at least. Or I'm hoping a certain member of our Crimson Color Comic Club that we do on Saturdays, and they usually get posted, I think, on Wednesdays. He, I believe, got every Night Terror issue, so I was kind of hoping that we'd get a whole Night Terror review from him, but he hasn't been on in a while, so we'll have to see what happens. But sticking with well, actually, I should say who did the storyline, who was part of it, if they show me, because they like to take you about 10 pages in before they show you the title page. Which I wish they'd still post on the inside cover the issue stuff. Writer Joshua Williamson. Artist Guillaume March. Colors Timo Moret. And letters by Troy Petiri. A mysterious and deadly new villain named Insomnia, that's who it is, has struck. The entire world has been forced into eternal slumber, including all the heroes and villains, as Insomnia searches their dreams for the Nightmare Stone. Can the heroes survive being trapped within their darkest fears? But yeah, it looks like just month 1, July 4th had, July 4th, July 11th, both had 6 issues coming out. July 18th had 5. July 25th had 6. And then they all got a 2nd issue. And of course, they played off everybody. The Titans, Harley Quinn, Detective Comics, Angel Breaker, Action Comics, Catwoman, Nightwing, Punchline, Superman, Wonder Woman, Zatanna, The Flash, Shazam, Robin, Green Lantern, Batman, Black Adam, Poison Ivy, Ravager, the Joker. I mean, just they pounded the whole DC universe with all that shit. And a lot of them had some pretty cool covers. And I just not big on most of these characters, so I'm not a huge DC fan. My wife liked that cover, so I figured I'd check it out. Now, this DC item I bought because of the cover. I love the cover. This is the Joker Uncovered, which you can imagine, it's a bunch of Joker covers. But this one with the little Robin kid holding the Batman toy, it's just crying on uh, Santa Joker or Joker Colossus lap. But you get the Joker doing the introductions throughout here. You get a ton of covers, but honestly, they all sucked in my opinion, except for this, which I had no problem paying $3 for that cover. But not having anything inside that grabbed me, just, and they're just blandish, and I know the dark Joker aspect, and then the little bit of extra character stuff they put in here has to be Punchline, which, you know, me from the past, I hated the Punchline character that they brought her in. I haven't liked, I've checked out 2 or 3 comics so far with her being a highlight in them. I have no interest in that character. You can't replace Harley. Especially with a B villain, B actress, B movie villain like Punchline. I really wish they would have stuck with the Harley line and not pulled Joker into a deep relationship with some new bimbo. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's decent in something, but everything I read, she's. Alright, there. Got rid of my coffee. Now we can party. Here we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, Lost Years. I believe this is issue number 4. Yeah. Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz, St. Gallant, and Marie Keene. This issue, we kind of go back in time, and we get our little turtles. We get a little starter story with them, and then we fall back to the whole storyline based on our last Ronin on his search for a certain character, and while he does, he kind of gets imprisoned in a world with other creatures and humans, and they got to battle through it. They're they got a human camp, they got a mutant camp, and the plan is for them to fight through their whole camp, and every fight is a fight to the death, and last mutant and last human standing will be the ones battling it out, I think, in the end of it. And you gotta see what happens, see who's going to prevail. I'm not sure how. I think the last years would. I think all those Teenage Mutant Ninja Ronin runs were like 5 issues. So I think this is like the penultimate. Could be wrong. Could be going longer. Could be going 6 or more. Sticking with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, by the way, that quote, if you haven't figured it out, that was from one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles early movies from the 80s, early 90s, something like that when it came out. I think maybe early 90s. Nah, probably late 80s, 70. Thought it was before I was 20. But we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Usagi Yojimbo, Wherewhen, number 4 by Stan Sakai and Kevin Eastman. Yeah. Story, art, and lettering by Stan Sakai, colors by Hi-Fi Design, editorial associates Nicholas Nino and Scott Dunbier. And then you got the Stan Sakai covers and the Kevin Eastman covers. I'm trying to get all the stands. And if you haven't figured it out, with me doing reviews of newer comics, these are obviously spoilers and stuff like that. But we have our blind sword pig back in the picture that hasn't been around for quite some time. Very glad they brought him back. Unito. I can't think of names today. My brain's going blank again. And he's hanging out with a Chico, his daughter. But it's nice to see him back. in the picture. He was one of my favorite characters back in the day. I love all the characters from Usagi Yojimbo, and it's just such a fun world. It's very well done, but our characters are kind of separated up a little bit, and the Turtles and Usagi and them are going one way, taking care of things, while the other ones sit back at a camp, waiting to go to battle. And Turtles and Usagi come across some robotic type uh, giant insect type creatures that they have to deal with, and they we kind of find out who's controlling these things and who's behind all this, and whether or not it's people that they're originally after, or the group that the Usagi's clans were after, or whatever. You're going to have to read that part yourself. But yeah, this is a great story so far. The beautiful wraparound cover by Stan Sakai. With San Diego Comic-Con going on right now, there's a podcast. I know I shouldn't be promoting other people for free, but I follow over 130 podcasts. So. But Comic Book Couples Counseling podcast just had Stan Sakai on. Him and his wife, and I believe their daughter, is also getting into the whole world, the art world, with Stan Sakai now, and which is an awesome way to do it. You got your own colorist, editors, letters, stuff like that, and you can focus on your artwork, and that's what I'm hoping to do. My wife loves her coloring, so hopefully, eventually, if I can ever get some type of little comic together, I can have my wife do all my coloring for me. But yeah, it was a wonderful interview. Check that out. Comic Book Couples Counseling podcast. It was very enjoyable. I learned some things. I'm looking forward to what they have coming out. And I knew Space Usagi's on its way, but I didn't realize these other things were coming. So it looks like Usagi Yojimbo is going to have a big year. And next year is Usagi Yojimbo and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th anniversary, I believe. So that's going to be interesting. I hope they do some type of crossover, but we'll see. We're going to have to see what happens with it. But next up, we got Tom Holland's Fright Night. Sorry, I didn't see my timer going for a second. I'm like, shit, am I even recording? Dead by Dawn, Part 3 by James Kaborick. Artist Jason Craig and Neil Vokes. Colorist Matt Webb. Lettered Rob Jones. I still can't do this. I mean, we're 3 issues in. I feel like we're like 20 issues in. I just can. This artwork is just not grabbing me at all. I mean, if you're gonna use characters from a known entity, they have to look like that entity. I mean, these are just terrible images. I could not. I'm reading the story, which they got tons of story in here, but I'm so put off by the artwork. It's like our little guy from the original movie. I mean, looks nothing. Not even a tiny bit like the character. So I'm confused while I'm reading it, and it throws me off the whole story. I wish they would have done a new story, went a different route with all this, and we would have got a nice, enjoyable Fright Night story. You can draw it however the hell you want. But this is just basically right off the movie, and it's not good. Not good at all. And it's the same storyline, just different people thrown in. And then the original people not looking anything like themselves, and me with my MS brain is just like, where am I? Who's talking? Which are you, Evil Eddie, or are you? Who knows? It was terrible. I'm fed up on that thing. I wish it would just end. Only reason I'm holding on is because I bought it. I figured I'd get the set for my wife and then be done with it. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm so ready to be done with that. All right. Interesting one from Rob Kirkman. Image Comics. Lorenzo Del Di Felicis and Matthias Lopez. Or Mateus Lopez. We have Void Rivals. We were teased with this. I believe this is the one we were told we weren't getting no cover art from, because I don't remember seeing that picture. This was such a weird, interesting, fun, simple, well done sci-fi comic. We start out with someone crash landing on a planet. They find out that, well, they're in the midst of a battle with another race, and just so happens that someone from the other race also crashes on the planet. They get into a confrontation. Both ships are disabled to the point that neither one's going to get off this planet unless they can combine the ships or something like that. Do whatever, but they got to worry about killing each other's races first and wiping each other out, dealing with your enemy, and it's just, I don't really want to ruin too much of it, but I did find out some information. I got to see an interview of Robert Kirkman on at San Diego Comic-Con, because I'm watching. I follow, like I said, I follow 130 some podcasts. My YouTube is packed full. I follow all the top gaming, comic, entertainment type sites, and I'm getting tons of San Diego Comic-Con right now. I think I watched over 6 hours worth of San Diego Comic-Con stuff so far. I'll probably spend about 4 hours today while I'm doing some eBaying and stuff, watching some more. And then I'm going to do probably like a drawing video or something. Then I'll talk about what I found out from San Diego Comic-Con. But there's been a lot of great stuff. But apparently this whole Void Rivals setup is in the same realm of Transformers and G.I. Joe, but not part of that. It's hard to say stuff without completely ruining things, but read the book. It's worth it. Robert Kirkman has yet to put out anything that was trash, as far as I'm concerned. I know at San Diego, his main talks were about the new season of Invincible coming out, which I didn't care for, because it's kind of like Walking Dead, where if you get the comic, you're basically watching the comic. A couple little twists extra here and there, but I just couldn't get into it. But the comic is interesting and everything. I'm picky on which ones I jump on, but I have everyone that I tested the waters with the first couple issues. I have yet to find a Robert Kirk one that wasn't worth picking up and reading. So I'm sure I will jump on them sometime in the future down the road. But for now, I got so much back piles that I gotta cut back on my stuff the way it is. I'm I'm looking forward to a lot of my runs, hopefully ending here pretty quick. And I'm trying, there's a couple that I'm going to be falling off, which we'll be talking about here in a bit. But we got Warlock Rebirth from Marvel Comics. This is issue number 3. Ron Maz is the writer. Ron Lim is pencils. Don Ho is inks. Ramulo Fajaro Jr. did colors. BC's Joe Sabino did letters. This story, I bought issue 1 for Howard the Duck cover, and I am glad because I have stayed with it. And we are seeing in this issue, Warlock's off in this special world in his mind or something. How do I explain it? Another plane of existence or whatever, but Doctor Strange has to go and try and get Adam to come back and deal with the female Warlock character that stole his soul stone, or I think it's a soul stone. And he's got to get back and take care of this and figure out what's going on and why she did what she did. And so Doctor Strange works on him, gets Adam to get his shit together, and then Adam and Pip are going to take off on a journey and try and deal with this character. And I'm looking forward to the final couple issues because I believe that was a 5-issue run also. So I am liking it. I didn't think I'd like the Adam Warlock character at all. Was not looking at picking that up, but I'm really glad I did. And then I seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy with the young Adam Warlock. Didn't really care for the character that much, but he kind of grew on me by the end of it. Alright, we got Weird Work by Jordan Thomas and Shaky Kane. Issue number 1. They got a little synopsis on the back here. Cops, cults, crooks, and corruption. It's weird work, but somebody's got to do it. It's 18 months since Lady Haste, the head of crime in Stellar City, was locked up, creating bloody mayhem on the streets. Things have started to get back to normal. Well, as normal as is possible in Septimus Prime's capital. That is, until washed-up detective Ovra Sauce is woken by a phone call. 3 dead bodies found in a warehouse on the wrong side of town, a crooked cult leader, a tech billionaire's right-hand woman, and Ovra's corrupt partner. Things just got weird. This one, the artwork's fun, the characters are fun. A lot of story in here, but did not grab my interest at all. And you're basically dealing with gangster type storylines with strange characters from different planets and all that. A lot of manimal type characters and stuff. I did not care for this. I'm glad I read it before my next order. I do have issue 2 coming, but I'm dropping it after that. Did not get into it. I'm not big on the gangster storylines anymore. And this one just was so drawn out. I was falling asleep while I was reading it. And did I mention who that one was by? We got a story by Jordan Thomas, art by Shaky Kane, letters by Letter Squids, designed by Daniel Gruitt. But if you're into the gangster thing, it's a fun and interesting twist. You'd probably be into this, but I just don't care for that storyline anymore. Then we got Willey's Wonderland, number 1 through 4. If you've seen the movie, this is a definite pickup for you if you like the movie. To get you some back history on our characters. It's done by American Mythology Productions. Written by Sacek and James Kahorik. Coloring by Emmanuel Ordaz. Art by Puez Calzada. Lettering by Natalie Jane. Fun artwork. Characters, everything looks the same. We get some of our characters from the movie. And we get some storyline. We get tons of the information that we're like wondering about from the movie. We get the answers in here. I wish I would have read this before the movie, just because while I watched the movie, I had those questions, and I would have had them answered by reading this beforehand. But I think it's good also if you watch the movie first and then come in and read this. I'm just not a fan of the Pulp Fiction style storyline where you're bouncing back and forth. I don't like doing a main story and then going back to a prequel, and then sometimes they got a prequel of the prequel and then a post prequel and then a post whatever, and they just bounce you around. I'd rather have my story in one nice smooth line, but that's for me, and that's just my mentality from my MS brain. It confuses me too much, and I just facial recognition, character processing and stuff. It can be rough if your brain can't hold things in it and keep things in a nice layout that I understand what's going on constantly, but my brain will just jump all over the place. Well, geez, Wonder Woman, you gonna give me a main page or not? Crazy, I gotta go through the whole book to. Okay, I'm not gonna. There's a lot of people, a lot of collaborators in this one. I got the Wonder Woman number 800 swimsuit variant cover, because why would I pick up a Wonder Woman? A person that's not a fan of the Wonder Woman character that much, because Michael Allred did the cover. So I love this cover, and it's one of my favorite Wonder Womans right there on the cover. Uh, Done by anybody. I like in the waves how you put Cowabunga down there. Nice little thing snuck in to the back image. I like when he does that. When anybody does that. But this was a pretty good story. I liked the Wonder Woman character that that I was introduced to in here. Her, the Batman, and Superman characters being different ones from what we're used to. I liked it, but I won't be going on with the story. I might pick up. Let's see. Yeah, this is going to take us right into Wonder Woman's next volume. And I might pick up issue 1 just to find out where the story's going. But if I do that, then I'll have to get number 2 and number 3 to get through the first part of the story. And we'll see. We got X-23 Deadly Regenesis, number 4 and 5, I believe. Yeah. So I believe this was the end of it. Did we finish it up? This one I read a while back. Yeah, I believe this ends it for our characters. And X-23 dealing with her past and just that mean mean bitch from her past. It just, yeah, it was a good story. I like the first X-23 run better, but this was enjoyable. And dealing with Fisk and all that, it's just... Previously, Laura has been tracked down by her old handler, Kimura, that's who, hoping to capture X-23 at the behest of her employer. Kimura deployed a brawler named Jordan Gaston, aka Haymaker, to bring her in alive. Haymaker did so grudgingly, as they had a personal score to settle with Laura, who, as an assassin for the facility, was responsible for killing Jordan's brother years earlier. Now lieutenant in a twisted drug operation, Kimura wanted Laura back as an assassin, revealing that most of her workers are hopelessly dependent on the drugs that only she can supply, and that she has a ward full of comatose workers she will kill if Laura doesn't comply. Kimura has forced Laura into doing her bidding once again. Yeah, Kimura's just a bitch. The X-23 gets her opportunity to take care of things, and you gotta read the story to see what she does with this. But yeah, I love that character. I like where it took us. Uh, hope the next one has a little more fun and a little more action. I just felt that this one was lacking some things, too much backstory, and not enough get out there and go and do what you're dealing with right now and figure it out. But yeah, still a great run. I suppose I didn't give the mentions on that one either. We got Erica Schultz as the writer, Edgar Salazar the artist, Carlos Lopez as the colorist, BC's Corey Petit as the letterer. So then we got the X-Cellent number 4. Still liking the story. Wasn't big on the first volume. The second volume's been better, but previously, Zeitgeist, the deceased leader of X-Force, known as the X-Statics, is back, and this time he's brought with him a team of conniving, cutthroat mutants eager to steal the celebrity spotlight from the X-Statics. Most recently, the X-Cellent stole a spell from Doctor Strange's Book of the Vishanti. With this spell and the use of his social media, Zeitgeist plans to achieve godhood. But Zeitgeist's abusive behavior is starting to turn his team against him. He's already fended off a co-op attempt by Mirror Girl, Toodle Pip, and the sentient machine Dox. In the aftermath, Pip is dead, and Dox is seemingly reprogrammed. Zeitgeist Ascension is quickly approaching, but who will betray him next? Our characters trying to figure out what they should do with Zeitgeist, and some against them, some still with them. Zeitgeist snapping, just turning into a confused little boy with too many powers. But yeah, it's... the story's gotten better, but I like the first... well, no, the first volume was more drawn out. So this volume did get a little better. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the end. This should be the penultimate issue 4. I think it's only a 5-issue run. But our last one finally got, been waiting for a long time. Zombicide Day 1, number 4, which should be the end of this run. And in here, our characters get to where they're going, to our little containment bunker that our one truck driving character had set up for many years. He's got it set up kind of in a junkyard. which is a perfect thing because then you got all that junk you can use and build shit with. Plus, you're kind of hidden inside the junkyard, but they still deal with zombified entities coming at them and hunting them down, and they got to deal with all that along the way. And then some of our characters decide they don't want to live in the bunker at the moment. They want to still travel around and do some things. Other characters are going to hang with the bunker or whatever. You got to see what happens with them, who chooses to do what. But yeah, that was a fun zombie apocalypse style storyline. I believe it was only 4 issues, so that should be the end of that. And then they'll come back with what everybody's separately doing in the future with the next volume, I'm sure. But it did take a while for these 4 to come out. I think they got delayed a few times, but I enjoyed it a lot. I'd like to see where it goes, but if it comes back, I think I'm just going to wait and trade them out because why wait so long to forget what's up with the story and then finally get back in it? I just feel like the issues were probably 2 months apart, if not longer. But yeah, that was a fun little stack. Couple downers, but most of them were fun. So keep following us. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, give us thumbs up, help us get some eyes on the prize so we can maybe do something with this podcast and video setup. And we'll get back to you together again very soon with some more videos, more fun. I'd like to get outside and do some walking videos, but we're hitting the 90s, close to 100 in Wisconsin this week. It is air show week, but lots of planes going overhead. But it's too freaking hot for me to be out there with my MS. That is, and with the smoke coming down from Canada, on Monday, I tried to get out for a little bit, run my errands, did my shopping and stuff, came back, went outside for a few minutes with the cat and stuff, and the atmosphere was just so nasty tasting, and just my chest, my mouth, everything just had that lingering effect from the smoke from Canada in there, and who knows what kind of things are in that smoke, but I could instantly feel it with my MS, the effects. So that's not a good thing either. And it's still, we finally got rain today, so hopefully the smoke is lifted enough we won't have to deal with it the rest of the week. We'll see. We got our yearly comic club patio party coming up this weekend, so I want to at least enjoy it for a few hours. But that's it. We'll get back to you again soon. Bye.